Interrompemos esse podcast para uma mensagem em primeira mão. Neste carnaval, beije, cante, grite, destrave a boca com Trident. Rebole o queixo e passa o chicletinho de uma boca para outra, vai. Vai no pique da Ludmilla, Trident e DJ Topo e destrava esse som.
She was like, wow. And so we left it as that.
So it wasn't about the vacuum, it was about calling her a crackhead.
No, it was about her attitude.
This is the plaintiff. I need a day. She says the defendants are out of control next door neighbor, and the crazy woman kicked her car. Then they got into a physical altercation. The cops came. She was arrested under false pretenses. Then the case was dismissed. The defendant made false and defamatory claims against her. She had to spend a downright horrible night in a jail cell and is suing her for the $2,500 she's now out. This is the defendant, Eldora Wilson. She says she and the plaintiff used to be friends, even had barbecues together. All that changed, however, when she borrowed a vacuum cleaner and never returned it. The out-of-control woman attacked her. She defended herself, and the plaintiff was arrested. Her one-time friend shouldn't have acted like a mad woman. And the fact that she landed in jail's her problem, no one else's. She's accused of being a nasty neighbor. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $2,000 for pain and suffering.
All parties, please use your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
You see it? Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn.
Thank you, Douglas. Sorry.
That's okay.
All righty. Anita Day?
Yes.
You are suing your neighbor, Eldora Wilson?
Yes.
For $2,500 for false arrest and pain and suffering. Well, it must be very interesting to live in your neighborhood these days. How long have you lived there?
For almost 2 years now.
How long have you lived there?
Like 3.
Okay. And you two used to be friends?
Yes.
Friends and neighbors. You used to hang out with each other, have barbecues at each other's houses, and then you borrowed a vacuum.
Yes.
And you never returned it.
No, that's not true.
What happened?
We was friends, and she was lending me her vacuum from time to time, and that's how we would not became friends. Because
Yes, I know. I want to know what happened.
because she asked for it rudely every time she's coming to retrieve
Just for rudely, it's hers. Why weren't you returning it?
I mean, we was cool, so like, it was never.
How does that mean it's not your vacuum?
At the time, I had a bunch of kids in the car because it was my son's birthday weekend. So when I dropped them off, I called her and I said, "Dee, it's best that I don't borrow your vacuum anymore because I don't like how you come and retrieve it." And she was like, well, she said, okay, well, she said something else smart. And I said, because I don't have time for your crack attitude. And she was like, wow. And so we left it as that.
So it wasn't about the vacuum, it was about calling her a crackhead.
No, it was about her attitude.
Okay. So then what happens?
My kids was outside. And I had left with my boyfriend, and we went somewhere else because the power was out. But the kids were still there with my mom playing in the driveway. My neighbor and my sister heard her say she was going to run the kids over about the kids playing in the driveway.
Okay, whose driveway is it?
It's a shared driveway. It's
So,
nobody's.
Do you have a picture of the driveway?
I
No.
do.
Okay, can I have it?
Yes.
Indeed, I got it. Okay, so this is on the side of each of your houses, or no?
No, as you see the long how it's coming up, when you drive all the way up, you're driving to my house.
Right, and do you pass her house to drive to your house?
Yes, you have to go drive.
Okay, so it's an
up.
actual easement on the side of the houses
Yes.
where both of you can drive on it, and then you park the cars off of the easement.
Yes, her
All right.
park is to the side.
So what happens? You come home.
When she get off from work the next day, I'm waiting outside, and when she pulls up, I said, so you're running over kids in the driveway? And she was getting out the car with her coworker, and so she started saying what she started, words was exchanged back and forth. She kicks the side of the car as I'm trying to move up. When she kicked the car, that's why I was like, I changed my mind about going anywhere. She then hopped in the car with her friend and they pulled off and left.
So she kicks your car. Do you call the police?
I didn't call the police. I just pulled my car up to where I parked.
Did she damage your car or no?
She didn't damage it. They want you to come
Hold
to
on
the
one
door.
moment. Pin it right there, and I'll be right back with you. What had happened? Had you ever said, I'm going to run over the kids?
I did not say that.
What had happened?
There was nothing about the kids that night. I don't know what she's talking about. Okay, that night I came home from work,
earlier that day, had you been around?
No, I was at work.
How about the day before? Did you have a fight with her sister and her mother or her daughter or something?
That was after she hit me with the car.
Okay.
That was the next
All right, so now let's talk about the day that you say she hit you with the car and you two get into a fight. Who's saying what?
I'm like this. I'm a crackhead. My boyfriend is a hophead. I ain't never got no money. I'm going out buying dope. All this stuff. She's hollering at the top of her lungs. Drunk in her bra and underwear. And I'm looking, and she looks at me and goes, what? And I'm like, you nasty. And I walks in the house and I close the door. I hear all kind of noise and shouts and screaming and everything. And then the garbage can hits the side of my house. So I call the cops. The cops that I called didn't come. This has been happening ever since.
Right, so tell me about when she hit you with the car. Is it this night that we're talking about when you come home?
That was the 4th of October.
So how did it happen? Tell me about it.
She wouldn't back out of the driveway so he could get in. She looks at me and goes, I should hit you with this car. And she backs up and she hits me. My leg kind of, and I'm like, did you just hit me? And I tried to hit her.
How?
Okay. I tried to go through the car.
How though? What'd you end up hitting?
Nothing.
Okay, but
she
you
was
went
on
like
the driver's
this, so what
side.
did you hit?
Nothing. I just
Was a passenger window open?
Yes, and tried to.
So you swung your arm inside the passenger window?
Yes.
All right.
And so he had told me to get in the car.
Come on up. I know you want to just sit there, but you can't. Yeah, okay. I know you want to keep your distance right now, but you can't. All right. So what did you see happen?
She was coming out the house, and they had their little confrontation. I'm like, man, just come on. She hit her with the car a little bit, and I'm like, I didn't even get a chance to...
Did you see her hit her with the car a little bit?
Yeah, I didn't even get a chance to meet the neighbors. That's how fast this happened. I didn't even get a chance to meet nobody. Right. I just came, I met her, and this just happened. The police came, and, basically what she said, that's what happened.
So you filled out a police report that night, right then?
I did.
And then did they knock on your door that night?
Yes, they did.
And what happened?
And he was like, she said that I hit her with the car. And I told him, I said, I didn't hit her with the car. I said, the car moved. You could feel the car. The car is still cold. I didn't even go anywhere. I started to, but I didn't.
You ended up getting arrested for this?
No.
Yeah,
I wound up getting arrested the next day.
Yeah, that's arrested. All right, so let's hear what happens. You start yelling because they drive up and they're too close or they're in your area.
I asked them to move because he's coming back. Yeah, all the time. Move out of the driveway. This girl jumps out her car.
Well, she's still in the car, so they weren't parked. So
right.
In other words, you don't have a right to tell people not to exist in the easement. They're in the car. They didn't leave it parked there. They're in the car.
She did leave it parked. She got out of the car.
No, that's not what you said. You said that you told her to move and then this girl got out of the car. I listened. Right, which means there's someone in the car. They're not parked. Parked means you've abandoned your vehicle. So, you're not, you may have a right of the easement on that road, but I think you're up in the ante just as much as she is. So you say, get out, whatever, and then she comes out of the car and does what?
Kicks her shoes off and comes at me.
And what happens?
I have no choice but to defend myself.
So what happens?
We started fighting.
Physically?
Yes.
You have kids?
No.
Okay, and were you there or no?
I was there.
You were there when this happened?
I helped break it up, me and her mom.
You and her mom break it up?
Yeah.
Oh, we had a couple of adults, okay.
Probably.
And then what happens?
They call the cops.
Who calls the police?
Her mother or her friend call the cops.
police.
My
and
mom.
then the police come over. And then do you get arrested?
Yes.
And then you go to jail, and how long are you in jail?
I was in jail for like almost 19 hours.
Okay. And they set your bond kind of high.
Yeah, because she said I hit her with the car, and so they said it was a felony.
Right. Do you have any priors?
No.
Anyway, they set it at $30,000.
Yeah.
So your mother posts a bond, which means she's out $3,000.
Yeah.
And then you are coming to court to sue for $2,500 for false arrest because you say she's lying about you hitting her with the car. She's got a witness who says that you did hit her with the car.
It was just them two in the car. Of course, he's going to be on her side.
No, I know. What, do you have any evidence that she's lying?
But the police reports from the district attorneys for lack of evidence.
No. I know the case ends up getting dropped.
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm asking you, what evidence do you have? I was a prosecutor for a decade. Cases get dropped for different reasons. Sometimes you have a she said, and you think that there's so much bad history and bad blood between you that you don't think you'll be able to prove it to a jury, and you consider that a case that you might not be able to prove, and so you drop the case for lack of evidence, meaning sufficient evidence. What you've got to prove in a case for malicious prosecution is you've got to prove she's lying. You got to prove she did it to get you. You got to prove that you won the case. Let's assume you won the case, because it was a termination favorable to you. They dropped it. But you've got to be able to prove that she was lying. The fact that they dropped it doesn't mean she was lying.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. Do police generally arrest people for legitimate reasons? What do you say?
Yes, if it's only legitimate. Yes.
No, but is it generally legit when police arrest somebody? In other words, when they arrest them, is it usually the guy who did it?
I really don't know. I'm confused right now.
That's a loaded question. What do you say?
I think it's 50-50. I think it depends on the situation.
What do you say, sir?
Yes, usually. There are, police officers have to answer their superiors why they arrested somebody.
Yeah, but it happens. But yeah, this is a tricky one, going inside the courtroom.
So was anybody else out there? Do you have anything else that could prove that she was lying?
No, wasn't nobody else out there.
Yeah. All right. Now, you have a counterclaim against her for $2,000 for pain and suffering and defamation of character. Tell me what that's about.
Man, ever since this has happened, this girl keeps her windows all the way up in her house. From the time I
She has a right to do that.
That's right. It's nothing but, do you have the right to holler at me from my door all the way down the driveway? Bye, going to work. Bye, watch out. The goons is going to get you and all this screaming, harassing.
Do you guys like living like this? Leave each other alone. Stop it.
I don't
Grow
mess
up.
with her.
Stop it. Do not talk to each other. Do not yell at each other. Do not say anything to each other. Grow the heck up. I don't find that you've proven that this was a false arrest in the sense that you are able to prove that it didn't happen. Now, the pain and suffering and defamation of character that you're talking about, somebody yelling at you and saying things to you every time you walk into your house, doesn't cut that. And that doesn't entitle you to $2,000. On your lawsuit against her, 0. On your counterclaim against her, also 0.
Well, we have a tie in the People's Court, and nobody wins anything. I don't know if this is going to settle this dispute between you two. What do you think?
I'm not going to say nothing to her. She's still a crackhead, and I'm still going to live my life, and I'm still going to be there. And if she say anything or do anything, she just going to get beat up again.
Okay, you might be back in court again. Who knows? Well, here comes Ms. Wilson. Ms. Wilson, what do you think now? You come to court, you stand over here, please. Nice to get a good shot of you. What do you think's going to happen? Just going to end?
Nothing. Yeah, it'll end till somebody leave. Okay, but like I said, I don't know what brought this on, but except my vacuum cleaner. I'll never lend my vacuum cleaner again.
Yeah, no. And you're too old to be fighting. You know that.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much. Sorry.
Okay, Doug, there has to be an arrest that's wholly without merit, completely without merit, in order to be able to sue for false arrest. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
Falando diretamente da batalha de rima, esse som aqui eu nunca tinha ouvido. Bud Zero e Sintonia, a série da Netflix, convidaram o Papatinho para criar um beat exclusivo feito através dos números do código de barras de Bud Zero, e ele ficou um absurdo. E eu fiquei sabendo que o Kant, o MLK da série, já até lançou uma rima em cima dele. Quer usar esse som na sua próxima batalha? Acesse o link e aproveite para fazer as rimas mais brabas em cima desse beat. Com Bud Zero, qualquer dia é dia de baile. Sintonia, só na Netflix, já disponível.
Esse produto é destinado a adultos.
This is the plaintiff, Amina Hosseini. She says her father rented a home from the defendant, and when they moved in, the water was brown and dirty. The landlord had it tested, and it was determined they would need to change the filter every month. When they moved out, the sneaky defendant deducted the cost of the testing and the plumber and some other unfair things from their security. And she's here to fight for her rights and a full refund of the $1,159.48 the defendant owes her. This is the defendant, Raymond Shalou. He says he lived in that house for 18 years and never had a problem with the water being clean. He told the plaintiff if she wanted to get it tested, she'd have to pay for it, and she agreed. The tests proved the water was indeed clean and pure. When the plaintiff moved out, she clogged up the septic system with grease and sludge. He deducted the cost to fix this problem and the water testing, owes her nothing, and feels the judge will side with him today. He's accused of keeping too much.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff's dad rented a house from the defendant, and the water was brown and dirty, and she had to pay for the filter. But the defendant says the water was good from the get-go. It's the case of how now, brown water?
Douglas,
welcome, ma'am.
okay. Amina Hosseini, you are representing Sia?
Yes.
Okay, your father?
Yes.
Here today in this lawsuit against the landlord for a return of the remainder of your security deposit. The landlord is Raymond Shalou?
Yes.
Okay, and you kept $1,159.48 of the security deposit for damages that you say they are responsible for. Let me hear from you first, Amina. Go ahead, Ms. Hosseini.
So I'll start out with the solar bill that was on there.
Okay, so you rented a house that belonged to him. How long were you living there?
We rented from July of 22nd of 2017 to August 1st of 2018.
Okay, and during the time that you lived there, did you have any complaints?
There was lots.
Okay, one of the complaints you had was when you first moved in, the water was brown?
Yes.
Do you have a video of that?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
That I put into evidence.
We have that. Okay. This is your video?
Yes. That was in the water every month.
What am I looking at there?
So that is the filter thing that went onto the, so it's dark because it's filled with.
The cup that's on the top, what is that, a cup? Is that the thing that looks like a cup with a jar?
That's where the filter goes into it.
Okay. So you pull it out and it was full of that soot that you're showing.
So that filter on the bottom, it's not supposed to be that dark, and then the stuff that still pours out of it after the filter's out.
All right, so when you first move in, you asked to have the water tested because you're seeing the water to be very, that video was taken afterwards, though. That's not.
Yeah, that was one of the filters.
You don't have a video of the water and the color that it was.
Well, I have one of the pictures that I put in.
Yeah.
This was like, when you would open the faucet, the water would be this brown.
May I see that picture?
Sure. And in here are text messages from Mr. Chalou that he had Mr. Rob Anderson coming to look at it.
Who is Mr. Rob Anderson?
That's me, Your Honor.
Okay, and what is your relationship to him?
He's my best friend.
Okay, so you do get it tested, correct?
Yes.
And what do you find? Do you have the results of the testing?
Yes, I do.
May I see it?
May I say something about that film that she showed before?
Yeah.
That's a sediment filter. That's to take the sediment out of the water so it doesn't go into the faucets and wrecks the faucets and the toilets and stuff like that. It's supposed to look like that.
Parameters analyzed are below the drinking water maximum contamination levels established by the Connecticut State Health Department. All right, so that takes place on September 3rd, 2017. You don't move till when?
We moved out August 1st of 2018.
Okay, did you ever once between September 3rd of 2017 and August when they moved out ask them to pay for this?
Yes, I told Mr. Anderson if she ever asked for.
Why Mr. Anderson? Is he your property manager?
Yeah, more or less.
Come on up, front and center. Okay, go ahead. What were you saying?
I told him, as she ever asked,
Yeah.
wanted to see the results of the test and stuff, that she had to pay for it, because she agreed to pay for that.
She had agreed to pay it?
Yes.
Who had agreed to pay it? She did or her father?
She did. I always talk to her. I
You
never
always
talk to her parents.
So according to you, she agreed to pay for the water test?
Yes.
Did you agree to pay for a water test?
No, I did not.
Okay. Do you have any proof that she agreed to pay for the water test?
No, it's just verbal.
There's no
over the
texts or emails or anything else?
No, we're just speaking over the phone.
Okay, what did you want to add there?
Me and Mr. Chilu always spoke over text. As you can see, I have every single document, conversation we had. So if that's what he's claiming, then that should be in the text, and that's nothing in the text.
Okay, so now the next thing that he deducts is what?
He deducted for the plumbing. So
because you had complained that there was a water leak.
So there was literally, I think there was 4 leaks while we lived there.
Okay, since there's so many leaks, why don't we do this differently? What leak are you now saying they should have to pay for?
This one.
Hold on.
December 9th, I think it was, I got a text and showing me pictures of a leak downstairs in the utility room, that the pipes were leaking and stuff. So I called up my plumber and I asked him if he can go out there and fix it. He went there Monday. He filled up the tub 3 times and drained it. He turned on all the faucets in the house and stuff and let them run and stuff, and he stayed there for an hour and a half and didn't find any leak anywhere.
Tenant complained of mystery leak above boiler. Inspected all piping and found no leaks. I believe someone used the bath shower and did not secure the curtain. That's the one that's for $132.94.
Yep, that's the one
and that's from all plumbing repair, correct? Yes. That's the one that you're deducting for. Okay. Was there ever a problem after that? After that plumber left, did you have to call again because the leak continued or no?
It wasn't the same leak again, but there was multiple leaks.
No, okay, but
that wasn't the only time that leak was fixed. That was the second time.
Okay, but I need you to slow down and listen a second. Hand that to my bailiff and then listen to my question.
That was his text.
There is a plumber who is asked to come out there, who comes out there December 11th, who says there's no leak. I think that they're just not putting the shower curtain inside the shower. And my question to you is, that means one of 2 things. You're not putting the shower curtain inside the bathtub, or he's a bad plumber and it happened again later and he just couldn't find the leak. So if it happened again later in this same spot, show me evidence it happened again later. Do you have that?
Not after that.
Let's move on to a different issue. You have also deducted $700 for what?
The septic. When the new homeowners come to buy my house, they had an inspection. They inspected the septic system, and they found that the pipes leading out to the leach field was loaded with grease.
Why would the tenants pay that?
Because they put grease down the drain. I got evidence showing that when I had my septic tank pump prior to that, the pipes were clean. And now
when did you have your septic tank pumped prior to them moving in?
I think it was in the year of 14.
2014. Yeah. They move in 2017. Yeah. Who lived there between 2014 and 2017?
I do.
Okay. So I think it's going to be really hard to figure out whose sludge we're talking about, because the only one who knows is the sludge, and the sludge ain't talking. So how on earth are you going to persuade me that that is their expense? That's something you had to pay because you wanted to sell the house, and the homeowners who were buying it insisted on it, the purchasers. Why would that be their problem?
So can you drink brown water that goes through a filter? Is that safe? What do you say?
I definitely wouldn't. That sounds really foul.
What do you say? I mean, there are all sorts of things. I mean, they're using sewers now where they filter it.
I think if in the area that they really necessarily need to do that, it's okay to do it.
Is it safe?
No, it's not safe.
Really?
No, I wouldn't drink it.
Well, it's amazing what they're doing these days, going inside the courtroom.
What else did you deduct? The Solar City bill. Yeah. Do you have the bill that came in? Because usually those bills do refer to prior usage. That should be correct.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
That I was okay with. I had asked him multiple times to just send me the bill.
So usually it doesn't come that fast. That's part of the problem. Do you have it now, though?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see that.
What it was when I was selling my house that last month, hadn't cleared through the...
No, I know how, I got it.
Right.
So the bottom line is that it's $167.01, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, that is a letter from someone at Tesla to you. I would like to see the bill so that I know that the bill covers their usage. Yes. Do you have the bill?
That I don't have because that's what Tesla sent me.
What does Tesla have to do with anything?
Tesla used to be Solar City used to be...
Oh, this is from Solar City?
Yeah, and Tesla bought Solar City out.
What else? So Solar City you deducted for. The plumbing you deducted for. The potability test you deducted for, which was $159.53. I don't think you have a right to do that. I think you have a right to deduct for the electrical. I think you have a right to deduct for the plumbing where there was no leak. And the water, you have zero evidence they agreed to pay for it, and I'm not going to make them pay for it. Plus, you never once billed them in all that time. Don't even get me started on the $700 for the septic tanks. That's ridiculous. They're not going to pay for that. And does that cover everything you deducted, those 4 things?
Yep.
Is there anything else he deducted?
Those are the things he deducted.
Okay,
But my
and you wanted
question
to add?
about
Yeah.
the solar bill, that's not a bill, and I don't know if that's from the beginning of that month to the end of that month.
So here's what we're going to do with that one, okay? How old are you?
28.
What do you do for a living?
I am a social worker.
Where are your parents? Did they come?
They did not. They have a business and they had to work today, so I came.
Okay, tell them to be very proud of you and that they should send you to law school.
I wanted to be a lawyer.
Okay, well, what are you talking about? You're 28, you're a baby. You have plenty of time.
No, I'm a social worker now. I got my master's.
Okay, but you have plenty of time. You know how many social worker friends I have who became lawyers later?
Yeah.
And they became prosecutors, so they felt like they were still carrying the banner and stuff. There's all kinds of... Cool. Life is very long, and it can become very boring. So do whatever it is you want to do that fills your heart. Here's what we're going to do. She's right. So here's what we're going to do on the $167.01. I want an actual bill. I don't want that. So you should be able to get it. I'll give you 2 weeks to get it. I want the actual bill that shows what their usage is. She's right about that. So assuming it shows what you're telling me, it will show $167.01. If you do not give me the actual bill, that will also go back to them. I do agree with you on the 132. I do not agree with you on the 159, nor do I agree with you on the 700. That's $859 here. What was the total of the security deposit?
$3,200.
Everybody agrees on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
How much total did you return?
$2,007.53 he returned.
Okay. Did he ever send a supplemental check for 11 something or whatever?
He sent another one for the $32.99, I think it was,
Okay,
the remainder
that's
of that $167.01.
Okay.
Because he held $200 for it.
Yeah, I got it. So he did send that.
He did.
So how
So I have
much
2
total
checks.
did you get back? The 2007?
I have it on
53 plus 30 what?
$32.99.
Okay,
Correct.
That's correct. All right. I am ordering you to return to the plaintiffs $859 right now, and then within 2 weeks you will give me a bill for the electric. If it turns out to be correct, that is all you will do. If you do not give me the bill, then I'm ordering an additional $167.01. In other words, I only believe that he should have withheld the electricity and the kind of frivolous plumbing thing.
Yeah. Not really, yeah.
I know. Oh, perfect lawyer. That's my verdict. Good luck, folks, okay?
So the plaintiff will get back $859 right now in 2 weeks, maybe more, maybe not, depending on if you send the bill to the judge.
I will. I'll get it.
You'll do that? You have it. So
No, I don't have it, but I'll get a copy of it
But
and
you
have
will
it
get
sent
it.
to him.
Okay. What do you think of the outcome?
I think the $700 for the sludge in the septic system, they should be responsible for that.
You don't
Because
agree
I
with
took
that?
care of the septic system. I lived there for 18 years, and I never had a problem with grease or anything like that. They move in, and all of a sudden, the pipes are clogged.
The judge doesn't. It looks like dirty water coming into the house, though, man.
Yeah, but that's the sediment filter. That's supposed to catch the sediment coming
But I
in.
mean, a lot of sediment coming in, though.
I know. That's what
like it.
is doing its job, though.
Yeah, man, thank God. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, you must sign some documents outside. Ms. Hazani, you should feel very proud. The judge gave you quite a glowing assessment. You ought to be a lawyer.
Yes, I will try.
Really?
Maybe. I'll look into it.
She thinks you'd make a good one.
Well, the
Okay.
student loans are racking up, so.
All right, good enough. You okay with the verdict?
The plumbing I'm a little upset with, but it is what
You're
it
getting
is.
most everything.
Yes,
yeah?
that's true.
And maybe more.
Hopefully.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Harvey?
Okay, well, look, the defendant did indeed send the correct bill, and the plaintiff had to pay $167. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Mohammed. He says he gave the defendant a $500 deposit on an event hall for his engagement party in the hopes someone would cancel on the date of October 20th, 2018. When no one canceled, he booked another venue, and when he went to get his money back, the defendant refused. That's outrageous behavior. It's bad business, and he's here suing for the return of his $500. This is the defendant, Rose. She says the plaintiff gave her a $500 deposit for his party on October 21st, 2018. Then called a week later stating his sister couldn't make that date and he needed his money back. Well, she's sorry, but the plaintiff's sister's inability to make his party is not her problem, and she's not returning anything. She's accused of being one tough cookie.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff plunked down a deposit for a reception hall for his engagement party, was on a waiting list, and asked for his deposit back and got nothing. The defendant says, a deal's a deal. It's the case of with this ring, I thee sue.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, Mohammed,
Good morning.
you are suing Rose. You've asked to be referred to only by your first names for $500, a deposit that you put down at Rose's, is it a restaurant, a venue, that she refuses to return. Tell me what happened.
Okay, so on September 29th, we first met Rose at her hall, and we spoke to her about an engagement party on the October 20th. And right off the bat, we tried to let her know that no matter what, we needed on the 20th. And she was adamant on saying that things are done her way and that she's going to figure it out and it's up to her. So we came back. I came back. My fiance was working on October 2nd, and me and Rose had a brief conversation about what was going to happen.
Why'd you come back if she was such a jerk?
Because at the end of the day, it was a really nice room, and that's the room that we wanted.
And what was she being a jerk about? Isn't she in the business of renting to people?
Right. No. So she was overall just trying to do things her way.
Meaning what? No, that's a conclusion on your part. I deal in facts. What was it she said or did that made you feel that?
Just saying that if we can't do the party on the 20th, then we can't do it, basically.
Because you wanted to do it when?
On the 20th.
Wait, I'm not understanding it. So she was agreeing to do the party on the 20th?
In a different room. Not in the room that we wanted.
Okay. So why don't you just do like anybody else, pick up your marbles and go home and pick another venue?
Because we like the room.
So you were willing to do what? When you like the room and it's not available, what is your next game plan? What's your next move?
What she had told us was that if somebody canceled, that she would work around that, or she would try and work around the dates.
And move them to another date?
A room,
why would
maybe
anybody with a deposit put on a place want to move their date? They already have the place.
Maybe on a different room, in a different room at the same venue.
Why would they want a different room? They had already rented that. All right. So she says she'll work on it. You leave, and then what happens? You come back without your fiance, and what happens?
Right. So we have a brief discussion.
That's some bad things happen when you're without your fiance.
I agree.
Yeah. What'd you do? You put a deposit down for what date?
So there was no date. There was no date agreed upon.
So you put a deposit down for no date?
So it was. So she said, what we spoke when she was telling me to come in was to get the money. She just needed a deposit.
You can't get money if you don't have your venue and a date. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's what the whole point is.
So you gave someone money to hold a venue without a date?
Correct. Without an established date until she could figure out what she could move around.
Why didn't you just wait until she figured out what she would move around?
Because it was within 2 weeks. This was October 20th.
But why would you give any money if you don't have a date?
Just to show her that I was serious about it. I didn't
you
want
have a very different version of what occurred.
Unfortunately, yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, what's your version?
Everything that was said from the plaintiff was not true. I have a contract for Sunday, October 21st. I have text messages from his fiancée for Sunday, October 21st. A week after they gave me the deposit on the 21st, they texted me.
21st of what?
Of October, ma'am, I'm sorry. They texted me and said, hey, listen, my sister can't get an airline ticket for the 21st. She needs to go home to Georgia and she has to work on Monday. I says, what does that have to do with it? I said,
So they changed their mind about the 21st?
Because I offered them on the
according to you, they had rented the room they wanted, but on the 21st.
Yes.
All right, now you said you have a contract. Show me your contract.
Yes. Okay.
I'm sorry, where's their signature?
After the text message that was sent saying that they wanted the 21st, I was in my office and I had clients. I was booking another event.
I'm sorry. Did he walk in and give you $500?
He did, ma'am.
Stop a second. You're there. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. You're there. He's there. Your right hand with the pen is there and a contract's there. Did you take his $500 and not have him sign a document?
A wedding's just too stressful. Who got married anytime recent? You look like you're...
Oh, no, but my cousin is planning one, and we have a very large family. My mom's the youngest of 13, so...
What do you say?
My sister's actually engaged right now, and she's very stressed, so yes.
Too stressful? Eloping better?
I think so. I think bride's great.
Going inside the courtroom.
I took his $500 because I had the text from his fiance.
Why wouldn't you have him sign a document? You're a businesswoman.
Yes, ma'am, you're right about that.
Why wouldn't you have
Because
him
it was a
sign
verbal agreement. I didn't even have
wait. He's standing in your room handing you $500. Why would you not have him sign a contract with the dates? Especially when the dates were an issue, according to you.
No, the date was issued. It was in my book and have text messages.
Oh, well, then I guess it's all settled, right? We don't need
the reason. You're right. I did not have him sign it.
Show me the text messages. Do you have them in your phone?
I have them in my phone.
Yeah,
too,
go ahead and
yes.
turn on your phone. I know you turned it off to come into court, but I like to see them in the phone. That way I don't just see the ones that a litigant wanted to show me. What am I going to see in those text messages? Am I going to see you and your girlfriend deciding on the 21st, then your sister can't change her flight, then you guys decide to not have the party on the 21st, and now you want your money back?
Not at all.
Okay.
No? Starts from here and goes all the way.
Thank you.
Okay. On October 2nd, you let them know, hey, I have October 28th now, which I presume was a Saturday. She says, is the 21st no longer available in the Rosetta room? And you say, I don't know what you say because I don't see an answer, so I presume, I don't know whether that was by phone or what. And then she says, hey, Muhammad is going to be there at 11:45. Okie dokie. Is there anything you can do for us for 10:20 for us, preferably something small like the Rosetta room? You answer, hello. I just want to let you know, in the Rosetta room on the 20th, I am completely sold out. It's like the first time you guys even talk about the 20th is in this text. Did they talk about the 20th in your office? Because it's like the first time your girlfriend's talking about it here. So even though I'm giving her grief that she doesn't have a signed contract, which is what she should have, verbal contracts are enforceable. What am I to glean from these texts from your girlfriend who says specifically, wait, the 21st isn't available? Because that's the date you guys wanted. I can tell from that. And when she says, hey, we're thinking about the 20th now, what am I to glean but that you changed your mind? The default position on any deposit is it's non-refundable. That's the default position because the whole point of a deposit is to hold the place and not let anybody else get it. So that's the purpose of a deposit. I understand that you didn't sign anything, but between the default position of any deposit being non-refundable, unless they say otherwise, all right, and the second thing, which is from the text, I clearly see you booked the 21st and then change your minds. What am I supposed to do?
At the end of the day, I know what happened when I spoke to her the first time.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she remembers.
I know what happened too.
It
and
may
what
sound
happened
funny.
Is
Can I
that
finish, please?
No, you can't, because you changed your mind, and changing your mind doesn't allow you to then demand that she return your money.
My mind was not changed. We went in with the 20th, and she will remember this. She said, why can't we do Sunday? And I said, Sunday, I watch football on Sunday.
She made you guys change the date.
bully,
That's ridiculous.
no
You
bully,
walk in here and the first words out of your mouth is, it was her way or the highway. Are you kidding me? You're two young people planning your engagement party. Don't pick the 21st. Don't give the lady the money. What is this? I'm holding everything for all eternity for some date. Come on. Everyone here knows how this is done. And when I see her saying, oh, by the way, guys, I have October 28th now, and your girlfriend responding, is the 21st no longer available? I know you booked for the 21st and then change your mind because of your sister's flight. Okay? I'm sorry that you're in this position. Verdict for the defendant.
Thank you.
Well, the plaintiff fails in his bid to get his deposit back. What do you think?
Just circumstantial. Text messages aren't really, in my opinion, a form of contract. Verbal is, but we had no verbal agreement for that day.
Apparently you did. The judge thinks you did, and the emails and text messages kind of convince the judge.
Correct, because it was her recommendation for that day. It was never our opinion on that. So.
Well, I think anybody watching knows when you make a deposit on a venue for a party, it's for a specific date.
Right, but according to her, she was able to move things around and she was flexible with the dates. So that's where we got caught up.
Sorry about that. You learned a lesson.
I'm glad it was 500 and not what the party was, and now we know not to do business.
I'm sure you
with
are.
her. Yeah.
Okay.
It was actually a blessing in disguise.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You must sign a few documents. Here comes Rose, the defendant. Were you worried about losing this?
No, sir. No, I wasn't. I had text messages. I had a contract. I did even offer them on the 20th if they wanted it that day, but in a separate room. Solid book to have the evidence. I wish it could have been
You were
different.
ready. You're prepared.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Harvey?
You know, there's this whole thing, Doug, about whether deposits are refundable or non-refundable. And, you know, I'm not going to get into, you know, the specifics of the law, but in this case, if the defendant holds the room so that the defendant doesn't have time to rent it out to somebody else and is going to lose the money, well, then effectively that deposit is viewed as non-refundable.